there is a betrayal going on. How crude and rude and disgusting this man is. No wonder Meghan Markle wants nothing to do with him these days.
Shit shower shave, obviously. Normally once you're 40 or older, never trust a fart. But you're young and you, on the M25, shat your pants via a fart. That's hilarious.
There's really been a lot about the negativity in this marriage, which is coming through across the course of this visit too.
What is the point of marrying a Prince of England if you're not going to get FaceTime with the head royal in the palace?
Prince Harry had one job: walk into a major podcast, promote the Invictus Games, remind the public why veterans matter, and leave with the cause stronger than before. Instead, he called himself a Prince of England, stumbled over what he actually does for a living, and joined a stream of crude jokes about grooming, body hair, and bathroom disasters.
It's not hilarious, is it? This man is revolting. Can you believe that he's doing this to the British royal family?
This was recorded during the same explosive week in which Harry lost a huge court battle, attacked the judgment, returned to King Charles, and reportedly left Prince William furious. How does one man turn a royal comeback into a public identity crisis in a matter of days?
To say this man is a disgrace to the British royal family, to say this man is so diminished that he would now leave his late grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, rolling in her grave. To say this man is crude and rude and a bully and a homophobe and all of those things that he has proclaimed he is not over the past few years is also an understatement.
The podcast was supposed to make Harry look relaxed. It was meant to show the funny, ordinary man behind the title. But critics did not hear a focused Invictus founder. They heard a 41-year-old prince trying desperately to sound like one of the lads, while the serious reason for his appearance vanished beneath the noise.
Asked about his grooming routine, he decides to talk about something he describes as shit, shower, and shave, leading to a truly repulsive conversation about his pubic hair that is completely unbecoming.
What's your grooming routine with your auburn?
Just shit shower shave, obviously.
Shit shower and a shave?
Yes.
So you answering?
How did you get rid of it?
Was this really the image Harry wanted beside wounded veterans, royal reconciliation, and the biggest legal defeat of his week? Or did he once again make himself the story and push the cause into the background?
The real Prince Harry is nothing like the woke Prince Harry that he's tried to present himself as.
The first warning arrived when Joe Marler asked Harry for his occupation. Harry answered, full-time dad, British Army veteran, Prince of England, before the conversation moved toward Duke and founder of Invictus. That tiny exchange exposed a giant problem.
Asked Harry's occupation, and it became clear that the only thing he still leans on is being a royal.
Before we continue, one quick thing. One thing I've realized is that most families don't have their important information organized in one place. That's exactly why I recommend the Family Vault, a simple printable and fillable organizer where you can keep everything from important documents and insurance to medical information, passwords. You'll find the link in the description, or you can simply scan the QR code on your screen. Now let's get back to today's story. Harry stepped away from royal duties, moved to California, and spent years explaining why the institution failed him. Yet when somebody asked what he does, royal status came out almost immediately. After Netflix, Spotify, charity work, public speaking, and business deals, was Prince still the only label that felt powerful enough?
Quite an aggressive start from you, Duke.
So, well, it's not an aggressive start. God, your hands are huge.
Now your tune's changed, hasn't it?
Look at those.
Big old mitts
Like
on me.
individual, like Cumberland sausages.
You are a prince, you embarrassment. If the interview starts going down that course, you stop the recording, you walk out, okay? Or you certainly don't lead it down a dark path. But what we're seeing here is the real Prince Harry, who has been protected for so long.
Then the interview went off a cliff. The conversation moved into explicit grooming jokes, intimate body details, and stories about losing control on a motorway.
What we see here is a lot of the nasty sides of Harry.
Harry laughed, joined in, and kept the exchange moving. Some listeners called it harmless rugby banter. Fine. But this was not a private changing room. This was a public appearance tied to Invictus, released while Harry was trying to look serious, responsible, and worthy of renewed trust from the king.
You only asked that question because you must have shot yourself multiple times yourself.
Says a lot more about you than it does us.
Yeah.
Can he really demand royal respect one day and behave like a reckless teenager the next? The contrast was brutal.
Prince Harry looked like a terrible douche. Certainly not a man who should remain in the line of succession. Certainly not a man who should remain a counsellor of state. Certainly not a man who should be granted an audience with King Charles.
Harry has spent years presenting himself as a mental health campaigner, a trauma survivor, a producer, a humanitarian, and a serious public voice. On this podcast, those identities crashed into crude jokes and cheap digs.
What do people most often get wrong about you?
That I'm not ginger.
Hang on. People get that wrong?
Yeah, people think I'm ginger, but I'm more sort of like sunset, like Auburn.
Yeah?
I don't know why that's funny.
Can we not laugh at the Duke, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you want to call me Ginge. You know, I got bullied a lot at school. It's called Carrot Top, wasn't
Sorry.
I don't know why they would do it.
Not funny.
It's not funny.
I'm going to need therapy after this, I think.
Oh, it's just such a joke, isn't it?
He mocked another Harry's voice, joked about tight shorts, and repeatedly tried to prove he could keep up with the room. Was he relaxed? Or was he trying so hard to look normal that he exposed how uncomfortable he has become with his own image?
And bizarrely joked about being bullied at school and needing therapy. Now, remember, he's joking about this now. He's just joking about bullying, joking about therapy. He doesn't take it seriously, even though mental health is something that he claims is part of his life's work.
The interview did contain serious moments. Harry talked about sport, nature, swimming, and physical movement, helping people escape destructive mental loops. He said his family and his dog make him laugh after hard days. Those comments connected directly to resilience and Invictus.
Asked what makes him laugh at the end of a difficult day, he said, "My dog makes me laugh. My children make me laugh. A laugh at the end of a hard day is the best medicine served." Now, do you notice who Harry did not say makes him laugh? A certain Meghan Markle.
But what dominated the reaction? Not the veterans, not the games, not the recovery message. The headlines focused on Prince of England, the vulgar jokes, and Harry's strange attempt to sound casual. Once again, the mission disappeared and the Sussex drama took over. That is why Tom Sykes called the appearance a branding problem. Harry appeared to be attempting the Mike Tyndall formula: rough humor, sport, easy confidence, and no royal stiffness.
Put himself in a position where he is trying to keep up with the mainstream. He is trying to appear cool, if you call that cool. And it's very unbecoming of a man who is the son of the king. He's degraded himself, and he's going to continue to do it. I think he feels emboldened by the life that he has now, considering he can come and go. His dad will grant him time. He still has his adjacent life to the monarchy, and he feels like he can just go do whatever he wants to do.
But Mike Tyndall does not spend one day attacking a court judgment, another day reopening family wounds, and the next day presenting himself as the most serious victim in Britain. Harry has built too many versions of himself. Warrior Harry, Wounded Harry, Royal Harry, Hollywood Harry, Campaigner Harry, Angry Harry, and now Lads on Tour Harry. Which one is the public supposed to believe?
He was always within the royal circle to be protected, to have his image cleaned up, or to help him with that. Right now, he doesn't have anyone around him controlling anything that he does. He's just going to continue to make his reputation mud. He's going to look like a man-child.
Mark Dolan went even harder and called the podcast a humiliating public relations disaster. His language was deliberately savage, but the central question was sharp. What is Harry's actual occupation now? Spotify ended the Sussex deal. Their Netflix work has produced fewer major projects than expected. Harry's public role at Better Up changed. Speaking opportunities no longer carry the same excitement. Invictus remains his clearest achievement, yet even an Invictus appearance became another argument about Harry himself.
So this horror show of an interview reveals a lot of worrying things about where Harry is at right now, his mental state, and how he sees his role in British public life.
What happens when the royal title stops carrying the entire machine? Then Andrew Morton delivered the most damaging verdict of all. Morton said Harry once had real charisma. He entered rooms and people liked him. He was fun. But the Diana biographer said Harry has become an embittered middle-aged man whose hostility and grievance risk bleeding into his everyday work.
He used to be fun.
Yeah.
He was a fun guy, but he's turned into an embittered, middle-aged man.
That is far more dangerous than one ugly podcast clip. Morton was describing a pattern. The bright prince who once raced Usain Bolt and charmed crowds has been replaced by a man permanently fighting somebody. Morton argued that Harry keeps staring backward. Old newspaper stories, old family fights, old security battles, old arguments with William, old pain connected to Diana.
No wonder Prince William wants nothing to do with his younger brother who has become a disgrace. No wonder the mainstream media is completely ignoring this podcast interview.
He has spent years trying to prove what happened, who failed him, and why he was right. Morton contrasted that with Diana near the end of her life. She was looking toward new charity work, a new home, and a new future. Harry says he protects his mother's legacy, but is he copying her courage or repeating the battles she was finally trying to leave behind?
Prince Harry is a 41-year-old man-child who wants to talk about shitting himself and his pubic hair. I actually think that is the real Prince Harry, and everything else has been a construct, a creation, and we're now seeing the real man. He's vacuous, there's nothing there. Everything else has just been a creation by Meghan or by David Sherborne or by royal courtiers. This is actually the real Harry.
Right.
Look at the week Morton was discussing. Harry returned to court over claims tied to reporting from years ago. The judge rejected the case after a judgment running hundreds of pages. Harry did not pause. He called the result a whitewash and attacked the outcome in public. Then he moved into Invictus events, a comedy podcast and a royal reunion without appearing to lower the temperature for 1 second. Is that resilience? Or has combat become Harry's default setting even when the battle is already lost?
So Harry thinks he's hilarious here. This is the problem. He's been given this captured audience, but as Princess Carparkle put it, no, love, you quit the prince job. You might still have the title for now, but it's not your occupation. Neither is Duke. Full-time, stay-at-home dad sounds about right.
Morton said Harry mistook inference for evidence and called the case a $53 million mistake. He questioned why anyone allowed it to reach that point. The financial figure is an estimate discussed in the interview, but the wider cost is impossible to ignore. Years of legal bills, endless meetings with lawyers, old relationships dragged back into headlines, witnesses placed under pressure, a marriage forced to live beside permanent litigation. How much of Harry's future can be built while he keeps paying to relive his past? That question lands directly on Meghan.
After everything failed, the way back is to remind the world again that she's a member of this royal family. It's so interesting to me. The one thing that makes her interesting is that she married a royal. So trying to run away from that is just a terrible brand strategy. It's an awful thing too on a human level, on a family level, but I don't think for 1 minute she wanted to meet the king so that she could fix this family. I think it was a business decision, a business idea.
Morton noted that Harry has spent much of their marriage looking backward, while reports have repeatedly suggested Meghan wants to focus on future projects. She has pushed lifestyle products, media work, and a California brand. Harry keeps returning to the palace, the British press, and the fights that shaped his youth. One partner is selling a new life. The other is prosecuting the old one. How long can those two directions continue without tearing at the marriage?
She wanted the king's embrace. And if she got that seal of approval, that good housekeeping seal of approval, she would be able to monetize that. She would be able to use that to her advantage. And the palace was very smart on this one. They said, come and meet him. He's an old man. He wants to meet the grandkids. He's a father here. He's not a king. He's a grandfather here. He's not a king. And because of all that, because of all the above, there will be no official photographer there. There'll be no photographs leaked.
And this was the man King Charles welcomed back into Highgrove. Not the cheerful prince from 20 years ago. Not a silent son arriving with a clear apology. Harry entered after a court defeat, a furious statement, and a podcast that exploded into ridicule. Charles still met him, Meghan, Archie, and Lily.
He's still letting them in. He's still let them in. It is quite astonishing because what this unfortunately does, Brittany, is reward bad behavior. Nothing from Harry is going to change at this point.
Queen Camilla was reportedly present. Harry walked out with the royal contact he had wanted for years. Was that compassion from a father or a reward delivered at the worst possible moment? The old Highgrove details do not need another full retelling. The meeting was private. No official photograph appeared. No grand palace statement followed.
So she desperately wanted a photograph. We know the world we live in. We know the world of social media. We want to see a picture of the king, of Meghan, of the children, of Harry, of everybody smiling. The palace said absolutely not. This is not a state visit. This is not even an official visit. This is a family visit. And so there's no photographs. And so because of that, I think that's the clearest example I have of why this didn't exactly work out the way she wanted it.
Harry reportedly promised not to reveal the conversation. The new issue is what Charles knew about the man entering that room. Did he know how aggressive Harry's court statement would sound? Did he know what had been said on the podcast? Did he understand that every fresh controversy would now be tied directly to his decision to reopen the door? Queen Camilla's presence changes the atmosphere completely.
Maybe a few years ago we would have thought that type of shtick was cute, but now we see Harry for what he really is. But as I say, there are a lot of people saying that this meeting isn't disastrous because in some ways it was Prince Harry and Meghan Markle having to kiss the ring. I mean, look at this picture tracked down from Prince William's jaw. I did quite like that because, of course, there would have been a part of Camilla who was there to listen in, to make sure no lies were told, and to make it clear whose terrain these two were now on.
Harry attacked her in spare, accused her of sacrificing people for favorable coverage, and described her as dangerous. Yet when he wanted access to Charles, Camilla was there. She reportedly wanted to stand beside her husband and see Archie and Lily. Harry could not ask for the king while pretending the queen did not exist. He had to sit across from the woman he publicly blamed.
There's nothing cute about this. There's nothing ordinary about this. It's not about Harry the cheeky chappy. This is just about a man who is degrading what he should be about. A man who has spent years trying to convince us that he is some type of amazing academic thinker, that he's an intellect, that he's fighting for true causes. Whereas actually, do you know what Harry wants to do? Harry wants to drive a conversation about people shitting themselves on a motorway.
Was that reconciliation? Or was Charles forcing Harry to swallow the consequences of his own words? Then came the William backlash. The Sunday Times reported that William would not like the reunion. Tom Sykes went further and claimed the Prince of Wales viewed Charles's move as a betrayal. That word was not issued by Kensington Palace, so it must remain attributed, but the reasoning is obvious.
Prince William's fury at what he views as King Charles's betrayal for going ahead with this meeting with Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Archie and Lily without securing any type of capitulation from the Sussexes, without securing any sort of apology from the Sussexes. It is truly awful.
Harry published private details about William, criticized Catherine, attacked the institution, and offered no public apology before Charles granted the meeting. Why would William see that as peace? Why would he not see it as pressure being rewarded? William has spent years preparing to inherit the monarchy Harry keeps attacking. He watched family conversations become interviews, documentaries, and pages in spare. He saw private conflict turned into international entertainment.
It's always difficult. Like, I think many people can relate to this. If you have a sibling causing trouble in the family, I think the siblings are the first ones to want to do tough love, and the parent is the last one who wants to do the tough love because we're all softies for our kids. So King Charles still can be manipulated by Harry.
Now Charles reportedly met the Sussexes without securing a retraction, an apology, or any visible concession. From Charles's position, this may have been a father seeing his son. From William's position, it may have looked like the future king being forced to absorb another risk created by the current one. That is the real Charles-William clash.
We can't just forget everything he's done over the 6 years because the king has opened the door to one specific meeting.
Charles can choose emotion because he sees Harry as his son. William must think about the institution because one day every consequence lands on him. Charles may believe one controlled afternoon can begin healing. William may believe every open door teaches Harry that enough pressure eventually works.
On Tuesday, minutes after his court defeat, he told an Invictus audience, what brings us together is far more important than what sets us apart. What sets this family apart is a memoir, 2 documentaries, an Oprah interview, 6 years of litigation, and a statement attacking the king's own court. None of it withdrawn, none of it regretted, and all of it, as of Friday night, rewarded.
And what brings us together is far more important than what sets us apart.
Who is being cruel? Who is being realistic? And who will pay if another private moment becomes public content? The security argument also took a direct hit. Harry has repeatedly said it was unsafe to bring Meghan and the family to Britain without the level of police protection he once received as a working royal.
By doing that, Harry has just completely undermined the argument that he has spent months making, that the country is too unsafe for his family.
Yet Meghan, Archie, and Lily reportedly entered the country quietly, reached Highgrove, and left without a public incident. That does not prove every threat vanished. It does prove a discreet trip was possible.
Where people have not seen them because they use the private VIP entrance and exits at the airport. These two are capable of coming over here in privacy if they want to.
After years of saying Britain was too dangerous, did the Sussexes just weaken their own case by completing the visit they claimed could not safely happen? According to Taz, that may have been Charles's strongest move. His home, his rules, Camilla present, no public spectacle, no apology granted to Meghan, no new royal role, no official rehabilitation. The Sussexes came back under conditions controlled by the king. That interpretation turns the meeting from surrender into a trap.
20 cars went into the Gloucester home of the King and Queen, Highgrove House, for some function to do with some organisation. And hidden within those 20 cars was, indeed, Harry, Meghan, Prince Archie. Is he Prince Archie? I have no idea. Archie and Lilibet.
Harry and Meghan received contact, but they also proved they could travel quietly, accept Camilla, and enter a royal residence without the demands that had blocked them before. Did Charles cave, or did he call their bluff? Other commentators saw the exact opposite. Sykes argued that Charles politically capitulated because Harry wanted royal access and finally received it.
The king gave enough to look like, okay, he's being kind. He wants to see his grandchildren. Although I still see it as a risk for the king and not so sure it will be a true success for the king just yet.
Dan Wooten said the meeting rewarded years of attacks without demanding accountability. Brittany from Royal News Network argued Charles allowed his heart to overrule the crown. The same afternoon can therefore be sold as Charles's checkmate or Charles's surrender. Which version survives depends entirely on what Harry and Meghan do next.
And William, in this case, I think is totally right. Harry has completely and utterly undermined the monarchy for the last 6 years, done immense damage to it. And Charles, at the end of the day, just kind of rewarded him, didn't make Harry apologize for anything, didn't get any concessions from Harry and Meghan.
Rob Shooter offered another sharp angle. He argued Meghan needed the royal association because her biggest deals came after she married Harry, not before. He claimed she wanted the meeting as a business signal, not simply a family repair. That is his interpretation, not a proven statement from Meghan. But the commercial logic is clear. The Sussex brand rises every time the palace connection returns.
For Meghan, it's achieved what she wants. It's once again re-established, and maybe not been seen, but we read the news story, that they're still part of the royal family. And that, I think, is what people find.
Oh, she didn't want to be part of the royal family. She called them racists and everything else.
But brand Sussex is entirely dependent on some sort of association. Hence the reason why when you see all her packaging for her as ever, all I can hope is that the jam, they had some proper jam served at the tea from Highgrove rather than the slop that Meghan calls strawberry spread.
Even without a photograph, headlines announcing Meghan back at a royal residence remind Hollywood that she remains attached to the king. That is why the meeting and podcast collide so violently. Meghan allegedly needed royal prestige. Harry walked onto a podcast and reduced that prestige to bathroom jokes. She may have wanted the world to remember that she married a prince.
So they got over there and she finally got what she wanted. She wanted time with the king. What is the point of marrying a prince of England if you're not going to get FaceTime with the head royal in the palace?
Harry then struggled to explain what being that prince even means. One side of the brand needs royalty to look valuable. The other side keeps making royalty look ridiculous. How can that strategy survive when husband and wife appear to be pulling the image in opposite directions?
There's like a toxicity.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's what I think Harry's stuck in, a sort of toxic mess with Meghan.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is.
Morton also warned that constant conflict puts strain on any marriage. Think about the timing. Meghan returns to Britain for a rare royal meeting. Harry should look controlled, focused, and ready for a new chapter. Instead, the public sees a legal defeat. An angry statement and a podcast filled with material that creates fresh embarrassment.
To me, Harry's an embarrassment. I'm sorry. I don't find anything cute, funny, charming about anything that he is saying or doing.
None of it.
Did Meghan hear that episode and think Harry had strengthened their position? Or did she watch him burn through the seriousness she needed from the visit? That contradiction now infects Invictus. Harry clearly cares about the games. Veterans respond to him. His military background gives him a connection that cannot be manufactured.
If you are Better Up or whatever, it's Better Up, right? The company that pays him as, I guess, a glorified ambassador. Are you not sitting back thinking, is this the right guy? I mean, Invictus too. Are you not sitting there going, I don't know if this is the right person to represent us, because he brings destruction, chaos, and a circus wherever he goes.
But every appearance arrives with legal drama, Meghan speculation, royal conflict, or a personal controversy. Sykes asked whether Harry is still the right public face when the story always becomes Harry instead of the mission. That is the most serious question raised by the podcast. Not whether the jokes were disgusting, whether Harry can still enter a room without swallowing the cause he came to promote. Harry reportedly promised Charles that he would not discuss the Highgrove conversation. Good. That promise should not earn applause. It is the minimum requirement after years of interviews, documentaries, and memoir revelations.
Folks, this is a hot mess. It is a disaster, a humiliating new low for Harry.
Before we continue, I want to mention something really quick. Organizing your family's important information is one of those things most of us know we should do, but we keep putting it off. That's exactly why there's the Family Vault. It gives you one place to organize your important documents, insurance, medical information, passwords, and more, so everything is easy to find when it's needed. You'll find the link in the description, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. That's all. Now let's get back to today's story. The real test begins when an American outlet offers him a sympathetic interview, when a producer wants emotional detail, when Meghan writes a memoir, when a friend briefs that Charles cried, apologized, or made a promise. Will Harry finally protect a private moment, or will the content machine become too tempting again? William will not need to say a word. If details emerge, his reported fears will be proven.
William's furious about this. Why? Because it's a reward for the treachery, the disloyalty, and the cruelty of Harry and Meghan.
If nothing leaks, Charles may argue that the gamble worked. If Harry stays silent, focuses on Invictus, and stops reopening every battle, Morton may have to revise his verdict. But if another attack lands, another appeal begins, or another project feeds on royal access, the Fun Prince will look permanently gone. Maybe Andrew Morton already answered that question. Harry still has charisma, but grievance is taking control. The palace once polished his image, controlled access, and protected him from his own worst moments. Outside that machine, the contradictions are exposed. He wants dignity and vulgarity, privacy and publicity, independence and royal access, victimhood and authority. Every time he tries to hold all of them at once, the image cracks again. So did Charles rescue Harry at the end of a disastrous week? Or did Harry drag Charles into his collapse? Was Camilla's presence a warning that the king still does not trust him? Is William furious because he refuses peace, or because he understands the danger better than anyone? Did Meghan return for family, for royal relevance, or for both? And after that podcast, does Harry look like a man rebuilding his future, or a bitter prince who no longer knows what role he is playing? Tell us what you think below. Was the podcast harmless banter, or the clearest proof yet that Harry has lost all discipline? Did Charles call the Sussexes bluff, or reward them without receiving a single apology? Should William support his father's decision, or was this one royal betrayal too many? And can Harry finally move forward, stay silent, and protect Invictus, or has the old Fun Prince disappeared for good?